I've been up and I've been down and I done seen it all. Was in the gym working my shot, now they pass me the ball. They never answer when I call, now I'm the one they call. I done been up and I've been down and I done seen it all. Crazy when you really gotta get it out the mud.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Rock Tide Sports Talk. This is your boy, Coach Rice. On this episode, we're going to be talking about this Florida game this week, a big, massive game this week for Tennessee football. We're also going to, talk about the New Mexico State game that happened this last weekend. So, got a lot on the table to talk about. Going to have Tom in here. Hopefully, Michael and Joey will join us later as well. Guys, got a lot to talk about. So, this Tennessee-Florida game could not be I think it's the biggest game of Coach Heupel's tenure. I think as far as him moving forward or staying steady or falling down into the depths of where we don't want to be. So if Josh Heupel comes out and they win this game Saturday and they win it handily, then Tennessee fans will be more than thrilled. And especially if they go off and win Vanderbilt and then go win the ball game, I think you maintain ship and stay steady there and try to go, have a great 2026 season. So that I think that's the state of Tennessee football. If you lose this game, it's not going to be looking good. There's going to be several people calling for Coach Heupel's head, and there's going to be several things that's going to happen if Tennessee loses this game. So obviously that's not the outcome we want, but going down to the swamp's been a venture that Tennessee hasn't had success in years and years and years. So with that being said, let me bring my boy Tom on here and let's get this show started. What's up, boss man?
Woo! What's going on?
Oh, much. Just another day in paradise.
It's a big week, man. It's a big week.
Massive week.
Yeah, I agree completely, man. This is on the cusp. We've had, by my count, probably 4 or 5 games in the last 2 seasons that could have been where you announce that you're going to the next level and you stay there and you maintain it. You just don't announce it. You actually maintain it. This is one on the opposite side that you don't lose this game if you don't want to go to Butch Jones territory. Like this is not, you lose this game, you're Butch Jones to me. Like I've been very, very vocal. I think what I think, but not to get bogged down into it. But I mean, if they lose this game and lay an egg, it's going to be a bad day in Knoxville the next day for a lot of people. It's just going to be that way. But I have this eerie sense of success. I really hope that they do well. I think they might just be pissed off. Maybe. I hope they are. I hope they're pissed off. They played like crap against New Mexico State the other day. I mean, they were sloppy. The defense got lucky in a couple. The defense got so lucky in a couple of spots with wide open receivers the other day. But anyway, we're going to go through all of it. Yeah. I'm feeling righteous this evening, man. I'm telling you, I'm geared up for Saturday. I cannot wait to see some pissed off Florida fans at the end of that game. Yeah. I'm so looking forward to that.
I am too. And I hope that's what we get to see. Moving forward into that game, there's got to be certain things that Joey Aguilar and this offense do, and there's got to be certain things, and we'll obviously talk about that later on in the show. But the defense is going to have to do some things to slow down Florida, and they're playing with nothing to lose. They literally have nothing to lose but to keep their streak going against Tennessee. And I saw where one of their linebackers today, Florida's linebacker, said, we still got a chip on our shoulder. We're maintaining the standard here by telling Tennessee that we own them no matter what type of season we're having. And so that just tells you the type of attitude at least that dude's going to be playing with. And I mean, I'm going to admit they've been playing pretty solid outside of the Kentucky game in some of these games, especially at home, where they're just playing with nothing to lose. Now, don't get me on that Kentucky game. If they play like they did against Kentucky, we may beat them 65-0.
Yeah.
But and I love every bit of that. So I'm hoping that does happen.
I'd love it.
Before we get into Florida, I do want to talk about just for a little bit this New Mexico State game, since we didn't really have a reaction show on it. I do want to get into it a little bit, talk about some things you like, talked about some things you didn't like. I know me and you and Joey talked about it. I've talked to Michael about it too. There was just several things in that game that was just boring. Boring brand of football. It was just not fun to watch. I couldn't get geared up for it. I know. I think I set this in y'all's messages or with my brother and a couple other buddies in their message group. I just can't. I can't get into the games. I'm so ready for the SEC to go a 9-game conference schedule, because these at late end of the year games, which you see the slate this weekend, where you got Alabama playing Eastern Illinois, somebody playing Mercer, someone playing Charlotte.
It's ridiculous.
These games should not be happening.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to a 9-game SEC conference schedule. I know it's tougher, but it's good, makes for good football.
It does.
It's just if you ain't ready for it, go to church. That's the thing. If you want to come to the SEC, you want to come to Tennessee to play good teams. So don't be scared of the opportunity to go out and compete against these teams at these road environments that are electric. And so I can't be more ready for the 9-game SEC conference schedule, because this last Saturday was the most boring piece of crap game I've ever witnessed outside of, some of the Jeremy Pruitt games. It's just, I couldn't get into it. I watched every second of it, but it was just boring. And
I listened to it and they sounded sloppy.
Oh, it was bad. It was bad. The offense was sloppy. Penalties. You had turnovers by Joey Aguilar, just throwing the ball. I get it. There's a couple times he had both times he had kind of a little bit of pressure in his face. But it's it's just inexcusable against teams like that. So tell me something positive first that you like from Saturday, and then we'll get into I think me and you both have a couple negatives that we want to talk about from Saturday. So go ahead.
I like that we won the game. That was about the only thing I like the unis. I know there's a 50-50 look. I had a split reaction to the uniforms when they released them, and I didn't see them on a player. I hated them. I thought they looked like dog crap. I love the point behind them and everything. I think they should have done it the week before. I know we didn't have a game that week, but still, I think they should have done that before. That would have been great. They should have done the scheduling different. I know the SEC makes the conference schedule, so maybe with the way the bye weeks stacked up, that we had a juicy schedule this year. The way it fell together with the home and away games, it was almost like last year, where we had the perfect schedule last year. You want to go undefeated in the SEC, get Tennessee's schedule from last year, and don't blow the Georgia game in the fourth quarter like we did. But digressing, I like that we won. I like the uniforms, the way they looked on the guys. I think that was about it. I listened to the game. I didn't rewatch it because I didn't need to see any more than what you literally just said. The turnovers, the penalties, the lack of giddy up. We don't need to play teams like this. We don't. There's no honor in it. I know that Alabama plays UL Monroe. I know that you brought up Mercer. They're like a Division II school, aren't they? These are ridiculous games that they should not be playing. There's no honor in it. There's no integrity in it. I know there's a big payday for these smaller schools, and they would argue at the athletic department level that, we need these games because we need the cash. Well, guess what? Your teams don't need this. You don't need to put your guys through something like that. And I know, I saw something on Twitter the other day. There was a post by one of their linemen that really got me for a second. He posted something about Hey, that's my buddy Lori. But yeah, so he had posted something about, being down in the dumps with his health and people being down on him and not being able to play football and this and that. And then the other day he got to go play in Neyland Stadium. That's amazing. That's great. That's awesome. I love it. But we don't need to play New Mexico State. I'm sorry. We don't need to play them. We don't need to play UTEP or all these other teams that I get so upset because when we play teams like this, you know what I think of?
What?
I don't think of how well we're going to beat them. I think of how poorly we played against the teams that we should have beat in the past, like Georgia, like Alabama, like Oklahoma, and last year, like we almost lost to Florida looking like crap. We lost the game to Georgia when we absolutely had them by the short and curlies in their own field. 2 years ago, we lost to Alabama when we had them by the same curly hairs on their own field and gave that game away. But then people in our own fan base and people in other fan bases, they always, and of course, the big media types love to talk about stats. Uncontextualized statistics piss me off so much. When you talk about, oh, yeah, well, Tennessee's defense did such and such, or our offense played such and such. Well, guess what? We played Buffalo or UConn or New Mexico State or all these piddly dink cupcake schools that we have no business playing against. And that's where half of Tennessee's statistics, or more than half, have come from in the last 18 years. And it absolutely just gets under my skin. I want us to play a decent schedule. We don't have to schedule USC or Notre Dame or Michigan or something. We could schedule Virginia Tech, or we could schedule West Virginia or a Pittsburgh.
Or even take South Florida or Memphis or someone like that.
For sure.
I mean, I get maybe one. I mean, one a year, I get it. I mean, that's fine and dandy. Like a first game of the season type thing where you're just getting some, that out of the way. But there's so many things that when you go into these scheduling, especially these late games, they make absolutely no sense to me. I think all these games should be out of the way within the first 3 weeks of the season. And there's so many things that that I could build off of this. Why it's not good for Tennessee football, why it's not good for the fan base and all that. I mean, I get it. You have to schedule a homecoming game. Well, schedule Kentucky every year for homecoming. I mean, we own them. It is what it is. Or someone else that you feel like you could beat year after year, but Vanderbilt majority of the years. But
we used to play teams like in our conference. We used to play Mississippi. I have old game flyers of homecoming games against Mississippi, or we would host Arkansas decades before Arkansas was in the SEC. Back in the 50s, 60s, they'd host an actual team. I know Arkansas historically is not a great team, but it doesn't have to be the number one team in the country. It shouldn't be. You don't want to lose your homecoming game.
Yeah.
But there have been homecoming matches in history in previous generations.
We played Miami for a homecoming game. We played Notre Dame for a homecoming game.
We did. Yes. And we do need to have something with more pop. And you know what? When you win a game like that, because you should win your homecoming, don't care who it's against, win the daggone homecoming game. It does create a buzz, and it creates more excitement around a program. And it's like, look, we're not going to play patty fingers like some of these other schools. And people could say, oh, well, you run the risk of your players getting hurt. It's football. Well, you run the risk of it's football. It's these things that exist. I'm like 110 years old inside, so I'm not a big fan of the way that a lot of things go today, but that is definitely one of them, that we have no business doing these things.
Yeah. I agree with you. And to me, I mean, and I know we got to get into the actual game, but the schedule, and this will be the last thing I say about the scheduling. You go play. You could. I'm fine with one. Don't schedule an FCS game, but schedule one non-Power 5 and then the other two should be Power Four teams. Like do a Conference USA or a Sun Belt or someone like that for one game, and then the other two do a Big Ten or a ACC or a Big 12, and then the other 9 be you know
all the conference games.
SEC games, because now next year we are starting the SEC 9-game schedule. So I just think, for one, it'd help your team out. Playing these pansy teams ain't doing you no good. Except buttering up your stats, like you said. Like some channel says, well, you have to play them, but I don't care. That it's stats that don't mean nothing. It gets lost because you don't actually play to your competition there, and so it really means nothing.
And it gives us a false sense of self too. I have been in Neyland on the 4th week of the season for however many years we used to play Florida. It would be, okay, you got 3 or 4 games ahead of you, and then you play Florida.
Yeah.
And what happened? For so many years, we'd get demolished because we would play. Look, I could bring this even further back to other things, but yeah, it gives you a false, inflated sense of who you are. And then it leaves people bewildered, like, oh my gosh, we lost to this other team. We beat ourselves.
Yes, Arkansas last year was a prime example. Look at what we did first 4 games of the season, and then you get into Arkansas. You're like, oh, Nico's this dude, and then a dude goes out there and craps the bed, runs out of bounds, and next thing you know, I mean, you see what the offense looks like the rest of the season. Just because we average 60 points a game the first 3 games of the season, don't mean you're going to go do it against SEC play. And so that's all we need to really say about that, because I mean, I knew that would be a topic that would come up tonight. Getting into this late New Mexico State game late in the season, because I know many Tennessee fans, just like me and you, are frustrated with it, and it just does Tennessee no good. But my positive side of the Tennessee game was you got to see some young guys, got to see Jordan G-Mac get in the game a little bit. I still hated that they trotted Jake Merklinger out there for some reason before G-Mac, knowing his tail ain't going to be here next year. And, you know, if I have it the way I want it, Sam Leavitt's going to be our starting quarterback next year, because his tail is going to transfer portal, and he'll be going to the pro the next year, and then Faison Brandon will take over the next 3 years after that.
That'd be sweet.
That's if I could have it, that's how I'd have it. So but you know, the offense, you know, did some positive things. I thought Coach Heupel hit it on the spot. That second quarter low that they gone through several times this year, that crap cannot happen against Florida or Vanderbilt. You're going to walk out of there. You may score 14 in the first quarter. Well, the way this defense is, it may be 14-14, but at halftime it's going to be 28-14, because you don't do shit on offense in the first half, in the second quarter, and there's just a low. And you got to play better offense and play consistently as a team better in that second quarter. There's been multiple times this season where that second quarter has absolutely killed us, and then come out in the third quarter, they got all the momentum, and then that's how Alabama beat us. That's how, you know, that's the reason why Oklahoma ended up beating us, because we started off the game good. In that second quarter, they came in there, got things going, and then sure enough, as you have it, we're down 16-10 at halftime. And then, you know, the stories wrote the rest of the way. You know, the fat lady sang. So, you know, there's so many things that we got to do better as a team to go out and win these last 2 games, and then go win a bowl game. Now, I think that bowl game roster is going to look a lot different than these last 2 game roster. I think you're going to see several guys opt out because it's not a playoff game. I hate it. I hate that saying those 2 words. But I think that bowl game, you're going to see tons of young guys. You'll see some guys get opt out, or guys go ahead and opt out to go into the transfer portal.
It's sick.
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad, but it's just the day we live in college football. So, last thing, I thought tackling was kept the mark up.
Yeah.
We talked about it. The Oklahoma game, even though we lost, we were +7 in missed tackles from what our average is. So, which is still mind blowing that we averaged before the Oklahoma game. We averaged 12
Yeah.
missed tackles a game. That's mind blowing.
Yeah.
But kept the positive note up on that. And like I said, got to see some young guys. Other than that, I didn't have much else. I thought we just played flat the whole game, and I'll let you give a final take on that game, and then we'll get start talking about the Florida game.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things going on. We had talked about this before the season started. There's a lot that's going on in Tennessee in the locker room that we don't know.
Oh,
about.
we even talked about the Boo Carter thing, which
Yeah.
I don't want to really talk about it.
For sure. Yeah.
I don't think we should give time. It's like it's like a kid that plays for my football team. If he ditches and quits, I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm worried about my players on my team that want to play all out and give all out. I don't want to spend the time of day to talk about him, but we will mention it just for a second. But go ahead.
It's a microcosm. That's a microcosm of it for sure. But I think that and being Coach Heupel, I think that he is. If I was to spend time with that dude and have a drink with him at the bar or play a game of hoops with him, I think we would get along like peanut butter and Chinese food. But I don't see him, and I don't think his players see him as, I think I had outlined this before, the guy that commands, not demands, but commands without having to ask for it, without being obvious that you're trying to get respect. He doesn't command that kind of respect. Look, it's not just about this, but it starts with how he carries himself. He's a slovenly guy. He does not look like he's being professional. He doesn't act professional. He lies about injuries. I know all the coaches do it, but I'm old school. I don't appreciate being misled and given the same line over and over. Well, we're going to see how the training staff evaluates. That's fine. And I know you can't divulge certain information because of HIPAA things and this and that, but whatever. There's just a different way to do it. There is a better way to do it. And when you see it, you know it. And it is, yes. And it's a compilation of things too. It is a compilation of things. It is things that game was a culmination of a lot of things that we don't see in the locker room that the team feels. You can see it. When you have coached, you do still coach. I have coached. We both played. You know what it's like to be a player on a team that's not motivated. You know what it's like to be a coach of a team that, hey, I need to do better myself of getting these guys up, or I need to pull them back because they are so geared up they could run through a brick wall. You know these things because you just know them. Listening to that game on the radio the other day was a culmination of exactly what I see Josh Heupel as, which is just the guy that's not going to get it done. Now, the positive spin on this is we absolutely, and I said this before the Oklahoma game, I turned out to be wrong, but it could give at any second, and I really hope to God that it does. Because if the worm turns for him, then he may be, he may just come into his own and all of a sudden find his pair again. And I'd be like, hey, you know what? I'm proud that he's our coach because he turned it around and he learned from his mistakes and he learned what it takes to be an elite football coach. Good for him. If we go out there and absolutely dominate Florida on Saturday on their own field because this team is well prepared, they are absolutely geared up and ready to roll, and they go into that and roll that through to the Vanderbilt game, hell yeah. Let's do it, man. I bleed orange just like you do, but I'm so it's almost like I can see it playing out and it hadn't even happened yet.
Yeah.
You seen the movie Gettysburg?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The speech in the first half of the movie. That's like a 3.5 hour movie
That's a long movie, bro.
Buford gives. He's
Yeah.
talking about, well, Lee's going to come up here and he's going to whoop us, and this is exactly how he's going to do it. It's like it's already a memory and it hadn't even happened yet. That's how I feel sometimes when these guys go on the field with Josh Heupel. I want them to turn it around, bro. I want them to grow it and just say, let's do it and let's dominate these cats. Because the way that they were not, the penalties, unacceptable against New Mexico. But the potential was there for a couple of key plays that you make a play without that penalty happening. That's a whole different, like one little play against a piddly dink cupcake like that literally changes the entire thing, just like in any other game. Yeah. But in that game, it becomes hyper-focused. You can absolutely explode a game like that. In the first quarter, it could have been 28-0. I mean, I'm not saying that's what I wanted necessarily. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it could have been better. That's like last year when we're at home and everybody's geared up for this Florida game last year. And what do? My favorite tailback that we have had since Montario Hardesty and probably Alvin Kamara were probably the two in the times of misery that, I mean, they're just tremendous backs in my opinion. But Dylan Sampson was my favorite back that we've had other than those two guys this millennia. And he puts the ball on the deck and they get a fumble and then Florida's in the football game, like that kind of stuff. You can just see it kind of coming. I hope it's not going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen because I think Florida is just so inept that it's just not going to. I hope that that's how it plays out. I know that was a little more than we're looking for at that moment, but that's just something I had to get out.
Well, no, I feel you. I mean, me and you as Tennessee fans, we're sick of the misery of Florida, going down to Florida when we have better teams and going down there and putting up an egg and just not playing up to our potential. And it's been with every coaching staff since Philip Fulmer. I mean, it's not just Butch Jones teams. It's not just Jeremy Pruitt teams. It's not just Josh Heupel. It's every coach we've had since Philip Fulmer has gone down to Florida, had several of them have had better teams, and they've just laid an egg. Yep. And that's why that battered ball syndrome just sneaks in your head, and you're just like, I have no faith in this team against Florida, and just because it's just there. And that's the reason why you have to just kind of play, let the game go, let it play out, and see where we are at the end of the game. That's how I'm going to take it. Obviously, I'm going to predict Tennessee to win because I feel like we're the better talented team, and we got less issues, even though there are issues, but we got less issues at the time than what Florida's got. And so
they have issues abound.
Yeah, they have issues abound. So I mean, we have obviously every team has issues that sometimes it just doesn't get heard about. But when you look at our roster, and I saw something on ESPN that says we're actually our composite ranking, our talent rise, we're actually less talented than Florida. And I can see that. I mean they've got a pretty solid team. They got a crap ton of injuries, so that's affecting them right now too.
It's huge.
But you look at the talent. You look at we obviously have a stable coaching staff right now, and we're more on a better trend than what Florida is. Obviously, with them firing their coach, there you see outcomes in every situation where Tennessee's supposed to win. And so that's why I have confidence in this game, even though the streak's just sitting there whispering in my ear.
Yeah.
And so and before we get into all of our predictions and everything, I need to put the link in the chat.
My Florida buddy Tyler, I don't know if he's still in the chat, but he was having some Tennessee style problems getting in here, trying to get his whatnot rolling. But I'm going to talk trash without
Yeah.
him being here or with him being here either way. But it's an interesting thing because what you just laid out is almost exactly to a T what he's been saying. Like and I get that every person out there who has a team loves their team. Otherwise, there's no point in rooting for them. Tennessee fans are a special type of stubborn and tough at the same time. We enjoy a challenge, obviously, because we're Tennessee fans. We wouldn't be here and we would not keep up with Tennessee and love Tennessee as fervently as we do if we didn't enjoy being challenged. Because being a Tennessee fan is not easy. It is not an easy thing. We've had a lot of heartbreak and a couple of gleaming moments in the last few years, but we've had a lot of heartbreak. And I think that's the same way that he feels about Florida. Because literally, like you said, that is an interesting thing you just brought up. And I don't doubt for a second that compositely they do have a quote unquote more talented team.
Yeah.
Because that logo, that stupid alligator logo with all them teeth, but no toothbrush, it pisses me off, man. I hate that logo. When I see that logo, I want to vomit. But there's people that love that team just as much as we love Tennessee, and they feel pretty down about the way that this season for them has gone. This was not supposed to be the way that this went for them.
No, I mean DJ Lagway was several people's Heisman front runner, preseason front runner. I mean, and I was one of them. I thought Lagway was going to have a phenomenal year.
I did too.
And so
I thought it was going to be him and Sellers competing for the
those were the top three that and Arch Manning. Those were the top four. And of course, we've obviously seen what all four of them have done. So who knows college football in today's environment? Nobody. So
for sure.
And so just building off what you said, and we got to start breaking down their roster and see, and they kind of talk about what their scheme is. Florida is a team offensively without Billy Napier calling plays anymore, which was his downfall. If he would have given it up, he may still be there. But I've talked about this several times. They use lots of eye candy, lots of motion, lots of shifts, lots of trades, bringing double tight ends over to the other side, flipping wide receivers, moving the running back all over the formation. Florida is a team that uses motion to cause chaos on the second and third levels and to outflank and outleverage the defense. And so offensively, you're going to see Jordan Ball or Jaden Ball. I can't remember if his first name. I know it's Ball, but he's their stud running back. And then Lagway's obviously their quarterback. They got Jermichael Sturdivant, a guy that Tennessee was kind of going after in the transfer portal a couple years ago. At wide receiver, he's kind of their main guy now because they got Eugene Wilson that's out. Vernell Brown, I think, is back. He's one of their star freshman wide receivers. And Dallas Wilson, who, lucky us, he's out for the season as well. And then they got a good stable of tight ends. But they're a team that wants to, RPO you to death, run outside zone, run inside zone, and then run some counter. They move guys around to some jet sweep stuff, fly sweep, to create confusion for Jaden Perlotti, for Arian Carter, for Edwin Spillman, for T-Lander, for our safeties. They're going to have to be locked in and focused this week because Florida is an offense that makes you be sound on defense in your assignment and your where you're supposed to be lined up. So that's what you're going to get from Florida offensively. Defensively, and I'm going to let you build off of what I'm saying here in a second, Tom. Defensively, it's an aggressive, normally they've been man heavy, but this year they're going more zone. I don't know if it's because of health issues or something, and which kind of like Tennessee with our corners being out, but they are going they blitz a good bit. They bring guys from all over. I saw a play last week when they were playing Ole Miss. Our guy, Lagonza Shady Hayward, who was committed to Tennessee for a while, did a strong safety blitz, got in the backfield, created an issue. There was other guys from all over the field creating issues for Trinidad Chambliss. And so you look at what Florida does, it could cause issues with our offensive line. Our offensive line the last 2-3 weeks has been an issue. First part of the season, we thought we had the best O-line we've had for years. Well, they're minus in the run game. Our run game has been pathetic this year. Our pass protection has been mid to plus for majority of the year. Last couple weeks, though, they've been letting faltering in protection, and that's caused turnover issues for Joey Aguilar. So they got an athletic group of defensive ends. They got a super athletic group of linebackers.
They always do, yeah.
Really talented at the cornerback spot. So they're young. So can our guys take advantage of that? They're playing a true freshman out there at corner. They're playing a sophomore on the other corner. And so I kind of want to see what we're doing. They are playing a true freshman at strong safety and Shady Hayward. So can Josh Heupel scheme up our wide receivers and tight ends and try to confuse that secondary of Florida and get them out of alignment? I think tempo is going to be massive this week, even though it's down at Florida. Do we get back to tempo to create some problems for that young secondary? I hope it's something we do, but that's not Coach Heupel's MO on the road lately for some reason. But I'm gonna let you. I just kind of broke down their schemes, what they do, kind of their rosters. I think they're supposed to get their best defensive tackle back this week in Caleb Banks. So we'll see what it's looked like on the injury report. But that's all something Tennessee fans need to keep an eye on is Florida's injuries. Because last week and the Kentucky week, they had a mass. We thought Tennessee had injury issues.
Yeah.
Their injury list was massive. So that's something we definitely need to keep an eye on come tomorrow night when the first injury report comes out. So go ahead and build off of what I talked about there, Tom.
What was perfect about how you left that off was that you mentioned how many injuries they have. So you broke down, yes, they move around a lot on offense, which perfectly matches up against our ineptitude as far as not communicating on defense, being out of position, taking bad angles on defense. That matches up, unfortunately for us, perfectly in that situation.
Yeah.
But their offensive and defensive shortcomings this year, which in some cases I have kept up with them because, like I said, my buddy – even if it is just to talk a little trash to them every once in a while, I'll keep up with them. They have had problems not the same ways that we have. Okay, yes, we have two major, huge injuries in Mod and I want to say Jalen McMurray, but it's not. It's our other corner.
We got McCoy and Gibson both.
Gibson. Out. That's huge. Okay, but that's not an excuse. It's more of a reasoning as far as how we could have done other things. But with Florida, their injuries, literally how many injuries they had the last month of the season, I would not be hesitant to say this at all. I would stand by this. I'll die on this hill. They could have at least one more win, and they could have absolutely been in the other two games that they lost in the last month. And by in them, I mean going into the fourth quarter, and it might have been tied or something like that.
And they beat Texas.
And they did beat Texas. That's exactly, yes. So, look, and Texas is not elite this year, okay? They're not elite, but they're very solid. They have an incredibly outmatched offensive line this year. I think they lost all five of their O-line, but, to get away from Texas, get away from Florida. But that matches up, and that's the kind of thing that a lot of people – like you and I might have talked about this already. I don't know if I was texting about it with you. I think maybe Well, either way, it doesn't matter. Those are the kinds of things that truly matter.
Yeah.
Because in a game like this, where their coach, whoever their interim coach is going to literally say to them two things. I want y'all in this locker room before we take this field to look at the logo that's on your uniform. And then I want you to remember who it is that came to play us in our house today. Go win the damn game. It's as simple as that. You will beat Tennessee. That's as easy a speech as it has to be. And that is going to literally light a fire under those kids because they know they have not had the gel. They have not had the continuity has not developed for them because of the injuries. You take away the injury bug on them, man. You give them a little bit of unity as a working, practical unit. They're rolling, man. They're rolling. They're probably a 600 team right now in the SEC without those.
And they played the toughest schedule in the country. It's not even close.
Battle tested, and they're battle tested young. Weren't supposed to be young, battle tested, but they are. So hey, if we do jump on them and we can take advantage of it, look, I wouldn't run a hurry up offense. I love the mindset behind it, but operating under the assumption that we do it and that we're supposed to do it to make this point, if you do jump on them, you have to do it the right way. And like you mentioned, you have to do it in a way that takes advantage of their first fresh starting corner, that freshman, just like our Ty, I don't know if he's as good as Tyrell. I haven't watched him play, but
he's pretty solid.
Hey, yeah, if he's wearing a Gator uniform, I'm just nervous about him because it literally is Florida. But still, if you jump on a kid like that, you target a kid like that, maybe they compensate for it. Maybe they trick you in coverage and say, hey, we're going to run the I can't remember what it's called defensively. You run half zone, half man underneath, but you're still running the zone over top with the shell. I mean, that's some tricky stuff, man. That if you get tricked into things like that, okay, that's coaching, but playing and outmatching their defense is, for me, I know jumping the gun a little bit, but that's going to be the whole key is, can our offense run the football? Yeah. Can you run the football in the swamp? There was a stretch of 10 years or something stupid like this that the rushing yard majority winner literally won the Tennessee-Florida game for like a decade. And, that is how it used to be across the field in football, period.
That's how it was against Georgia.
It was. You don't turn it over, you win the rushing battle, and you win the game because
Alabama.
Yeah. But with Florida, particularly in Ben Hill Griffin, if you run the football and we get 180 to 200 yards on the ground, we do it the right way, you throw it over the top once or twice, and you get a couple of really key moments. Like Braylon Staley's made some incredible, like there's been times where I was like, come on, man, you got to get in the game. But then there's been other moments where it's just like, man, this dude is a hell of an athlete, hell of a football player. We would not have 2 wins on the schedule so far under our belt if it wasn't for him. That driving 4th down catch, where he literally made that catch and drove for 4 yards to get the first down. I think that was against Mississippi State. Yeah. That is something that's going to stick with me for a long time when I think about Braylon Staley. Like, that's who he is. Needs to be in it the whole time, with it, mentally focused the whole time. But when he is, he makes those crucial catches and things like that. We put those kinds of things together and don't have those idiotic self-inflicting wounds with the penalties, then we're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to 2 things before we get into the prediction and breakdown and all that, the MVP and all that. I think it's going to come down to who plays the cleanest out of the 2 teams, and then what type of team does Tennessee show up with. Does Tennessee, because I have a feeling Florida's they're going to become ready. They got a chip on their shoulder. They're like, oh, we're 3-7, but we're not fit to let Tennessee take over our. I mean, we own the swamp. We're not going to let Tennessee come in here and end this streak that's lasted for years. So, what type of team does Tennessee show up with? Does it show up with a fiery, let's go get this thing team, or do we come out with let's just go through the motions and we should be better than them? They're 3-7, we're 7-3, and we'll go win. And the same thing for the coaching staff. I don't want Coach Hype to come in there and coach like dog crap and have dumb timing, clock management decisions and other issues that he's shown that through the last 3 or 4 years that he has issues with on game day, other than just calling the game and then playing aggressive. I saw a post, and I wish I could give him credit because it was an awesome post, and I wish I could have put it on here. But someone on my Twitter account that I'm friends with, they posted, it was the 2015, I think, when Josh Heupel and company, not Josh Heupel, Butch Jones and company, and Josh Dobbs went down to Florida and, had to lead the whole game.
Owned them.
Had the opportunity. All they had to do is get a first down. The game would have been over. Well, what they do, they ran it 3 straight times.
I saw that post. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yep.
All 3 times, and then Florida comes down. And y'all know the story. They get the, I think that's the Hail Mary year.
Yeah.
And
we didn't have a dime package installed.
Yeah, and all that happens, and so you go win this game by playing clean, efficient football, but playing aggressive. Don't play with your hand stuck in your pants. Let it out and go do your thing, man. I'm telling you, I'm tired of this coaching narrative that Coach Heupel's coached with the last 2 years since 2022. That I'm just going to play conservative and let the defense or whatever go play coach like you coached in 21 and 22 and go win a freaking football game. Yeah, I'm so sick of that's what it was. Thanks, Sam. I couldn't remember which play it was, but there's so many issues with what Coach Heupel's done the last 2 years that just drives me crazy. Other than, what he did 21-22, he went for it on 4th down. He called plays like he had nothing to lose. You got to do that in games like this. Got to.
Yeah. And there's a key element that's missing from those first 2. But I just had to throw that dart at the board, man.
It is true. So just the aggressiveness is what I want to see. But with that being said, let's get into our predictions. Give me your number 1 key, your prediction, and your MVP.
We have to run the football for at least 150 more than what they run it for. If we run the football successfully in the right areas, it can't be garbage runs, okay? We can't get 9 yards on 3rd and 15 and be like, oh, well, we had a 3rd and 9 or a 3rd and 15, we got 9 yards, or whatever. Those are the kind of garbage statistics. And Braylon Staley is a straight up dog for sure. That's the kind of, like I was saying earlier, uncontextualized statistics just piss me off because like we were talking about with the weak opponents, with the stats coming from those, like it gives you a falsely inflated sense of who you are. We have to be able to run the football on 1st and on 2nd down. And I kind of dig this about Josh Heupel. Not going to lie. Got to give some props where it's deserved. I like that he's not run it, pass it, punt it. That's nice. But in some instances, he's 3 runs. We got 5 yards. Yeah. One of our coaches, I think it was – in high school, one of our coaches almost came on the field and was about to kill us because we literally were playing a team we should have beat by 35 on their own field and ran 3 plays and got 4 yards. And his head was about to explode. That's what I want from Josh Heupel, but I don't want him calling 3 stupid plays in a row. We have to run the football. But our offensive line has to be prepared because they are going to shift. Yes, they have to communicate. I don't see our O-line communicating with each other the way that, look, I was brought up in an old school run the ball system. Like our middle school, we ran single wing. You're throwing it maybe 5 times the whole game.
Gap scheme.
We got to high school. Yeah. And even when we got to high school, like our coaches were telling us, look, point your damn assignment out. They don't know what the play is. You could be running a trap. You could be running counter gap. You could be running an ISO and it's a double team, whatever the hell. They don't know what you're getting ready to run. Now you have to communicate it. And I don't see our offensive line doing that. Now in college, they broke us of that, but still at the same time that I don't understand where that you're literally forcing not communicating, which is very counterintuitive. And I think they think that it's some kind of World War II spy checkmate type of thing. You know, it's like, well, we're going to anticipate your move. Part of anticipating that move is to think 3 steps ahead. Don't outthink your own damn self. Just go out and point out your assignments and communicate along the offensive line and run the football. Yeah. We ran the football so much in the last 4 years that I did not let entirely on how pissed I was about the games that we were still losing that we should have won. But now we can't run the football like we were the last 4 years, and it pisses me off inside, and my soul is hurting. So I want us to run the football. That is my key to the game. If we can run the football successfully in the right places, the right way, in the right context, and we get on them and grab them by the belt buckle and don't let them loose, that's it. You stay on them the whole time and you keep it on them. And when you find something that's working, you don't divvy from it just because, oh, well, you know what? We've been running a zone scheme the whole first quarter. We need to change it up a little bit. No, you don't. If you've run it for 90 yards in the first quarter, you stick with it.
Yeah.
That's literally what got you there. But yeah, so we got to run the football. I forgot the other half of your question.
Score and MVP.
I want to say I don't expect us to win this because it's Florida, but it does give me some kind of hesitant hope. I think we do win this football game, and it is not out of some overinflated sense of Tennessee pride and blinders of orange color. It is literally because Florida lost a coach. Their team is disrupted because of that. Any team's going to be disrupted.
And they got a crap ton of injuries.
And they have more injuries than you could blink an eye at in 10 seconds. I mean, it's insane. This is the perfect time for us to go down there. And you know what the narrative is going to be? The narrative from actual people who are actually negative instead of being realistic with themselves is going to be, oh, well, we only won because of this. I'm fine with that, bro. I know you're fine with that. I'm pretty sure all Tennessee universe is fine with that. Yep. Let it be that they're so down. They've got no coach. They've got hardly half of their starters. It's a perfect storm of circumstances to go down there and win.
Yeah.
So, yes, I do think we're going to win, but I don't think that it's going to be the kind of win that we want. I think it's going to be a real close, gritted out. They're going to be in it till the fourth quarter. Maybe we pull away in the fourth quarter, and then we can finally take a breath after halfway through the fourth quarter because we get up 17 or something like that, you know, and it's obvious that we have it in hand because they are so inept. Like, I hope that is. Yeah, and that is something right there. You stick with the hot hand. I love that. Yes, you got to stick with what works because I know the whole thing about the modern age of professionalization. You want people to get reps. You want guys to get touches. You want guys to get stats, or else they're going somewhere that's going to make them the focal point of the whole offense. I don't care. Let them go. Bye. Don't want you wearing Tennessee orange. If you're not here to be a part of a team, that's that. And you know what? Eventually that whole thing's going to work itself out anyway, because NFL teams don't want a guy that's not going to be part of a team either. They're not going to want that selfish crap. But I think we do win. I think it's probably 30-27. That's a bit closer than I want, but that's just how I see it playing out. And I do think we turn the ball over. I do think they turn the ball over. I think maybe a guy or two makes a play on defense, forces a turnover. maybe it's not the kind of game where they just give it to us. I hope and I think that it will be one of those times that, yeah, it's guys literally just going up and getting in between the ball and the receiver and making a damn play. I'd love to see maybe a pick six or a fumble return for a touchdown or something, because that in the swamp, man, that would be the biggest middle finger to that fan base. That absolutely would make my day. As far as the MVP, if we win 30-27, it's because we ran the football, and it's going to be one of I wanted it to be the case against Oklahoma. I really did. I wanted one of our tailbacks to just, and our offensive line to just damn take the game over and have it be Star Thomas or Deshaun Bishop or something like that. That'd be amazing. I'd love it if that'd start Jaden Perlotti off on a good trend for next year. That's for daggone sure. But yeah, I would say it's going to be one of the tailbacks that does it for us. I mean, I'd love to see the flashy everything with the receiving core going crazy, and maybe they do have a game like that. Maybe all three of our receivers put up 80 some yards apiece and they get a touchdown grab, 2 tutties for 3 guys. That'd be awesome. I'd love that. But I think this one's going to come down to, they do have athletes. It's the state of Florida. They have had the speediest athletes coming out of Florida for 30 years now. Bobby Bowden knew it. Larry Coker knew it. Jimmy Johnson knew it.
Steve Spurrier knew it.
Steve Spurrier certainly as hell knew it, because they wouldn't have beaten us all those times in the 90s if they hadn't had the best 3 linebackers across the board in the country every daggone year. But speed kills, man. And we do have some dudes at receiver, but it's going to be a run fest. Can we slow down their run? Because that tailback you mentioned earlier, Jaden, what's his face? He's got almost 900 yards and like 5 or 6 touchdowns. He's definitely a player.
Oh,
if they had a better offensive line, he'd probably have 12 touchdowns or something, and he'd probably have about 1,000 yards at this point, because they are not a stable back kind of a team.
No.
They are a one tailback kind of a team.
Yeah.
And
they'll rotate a dude named Daniels in every once in a blue moon. But Jordan Ball is mainly their main.
If you stick Jaden Ball and you stick them hard and you stick them often, man, and you make them not want to run the ball, then their day's over.
Yeah.
And you go run the ball on their field. But I'd love it if one of our tailbacks actually, and it's not have a 60-yard run, have a 20-yard run like some Dylan Sampson stuff. It is going to be more like my favorite back at Tennessee has been Travis Henry. I know that's title back, but still, that was my childhood, man. I used to love watching Travis Henry. He was a tough MFer that he just made it those 2 years that I remember watching him over and over. He was just a hell of a back. And I think he got buried a lot by Jamal Lewis and a couple other guys. But still, as far as that whole kind of style, you're going to get 4 yards. You're going to get 3 yards. You're going to get 2 yards. You're going to go back out and get 5 yards again. That's what I want to see. I want it to be one tailback that you can rely on. Maybe it's Bishop. I don't think it's Star Thomas at this point, because that drop, man, that I did see that. I heard it on the radio. I threw my hat across the room. I was so pissed. He was wide open, bro. Yeah. Wide open. I know you saw it in live time, but it's not going to be Star Thomas. He's on his way out. I think his confidence level's through the floor. So let it be Peyton Lewis or Deshaun Bishop. Please let them take over the game.
Yeah,
I would love it if Peyton Lewis would show up and just be like, you know what, Deshaun, you and I, we're competing, but we're brothers and we're both wearing T's on the helmets. Let's literally go out and own this damn game in the swamp, and we'll put up 200 rushing yards between the two of us and own the whole football game.
Yeah, I got you. I'm right there with you. I think there's a lot that I agree with you. I think Florida is going to force us to do certain things offensively that, that other teams like Oklahoma have done to try to put us in a bind. But Braylon Staley, I think this is going to be his game. I think you're going to see Joey Aguilar have opportunities as long as we give him protection. My number one key is protect the quarterback. Protect the quarterback and tackle. It's both sides of the ball. protect the quarterback and tackle their guys with the ball. If you can't do that, you're going to be in trouble because, like I said, they have exotic blitzes. They do things differently than some what they've done in the past as far as running a lot of man. They run a lot of zone scheme this year with doing some different zone blitzes. And then you just gotta go take advantage of some of their young guys in the back end. They play a lot of young guys back there in the back end. So go take advantage of that and then tackle when they have the ball. So those are my two keys. My score prediction is 35-31 Tennessee. I think Tennessee somehow pulls it out. It's going to be a nail biter. It's going to be one of those, the cardiac valves strike again. I think we'll be off dealing with our blood pressure things by the end of the game. So I think that'll be the final score, and I think the MVP will be Braylon Staley. I just think his opportunities in this game will be – I think they're going to be able to find him a lot in the zone scheme, and he'll be able to take advantage of it. He'll be matched up with some young guys in their secondary. So hopefully Braylon Staley I like what Fuzzy says there. Watch out for Ethan Davis as well. With Miles Kitselman out for the year, it looks like Ethan Davis is going to be big time for us. So I think I'm right there with you. With Miles out for the rest of the year, I think that's going to be massive. So
100%. And I've got to pile on. I think one of y'all, it was either you or Joe when we were texting during the OU game. I am very appreciative. And I was a huge look. I wanted Miles Kitselman to be the next Jason Witten going into the NFL coming out of this year. I didn't think it was going to happen, but I mean, he has the potential, the body size. Maybe he's not quite as quick from side to side as you would like, but he does have the body size and the potential. He just drops things, man. He could, I'm sorry to say this like this, but he couldn't catch crabs from a hooker, man. I mean, he has dropped some passes that he had a great catch though. It's just, I'm glad Ethan Davis and a Van Doorslayer type, they're going to come up. Look, I know that one pass hit Jack right in the face. And then, of course, he had that classic afterward reaction, in the Oklahoma game. But we should have run the football there too. So, I mean, I'm not counting that one against the kid. I don't know if he was necessarily ready for the moment. He's a freshman. Let him not be ready for the moment. But I'm so glad that Ethan Davis is going to get his chance in the last couple games of the season, not against teams that we're going to just go out and blow out like New Mexico State, even though we had a crap game. Of course, to go full circle, when you have a 50-50 sloppy, should have played 1,000 times better game and you still win like that, that really pisses me off. But this game against Florida is no joke. 3-7, Florida playing Tennessee, they may as well be 8-2.
Yeah.
Literally, they may as well be 8-2 because it's in the swamp. I'm glad we got Ethan Davis out there. I think I think it was you who said, he's the future at tight end. And not just at tight end. I hope they utilize him at the wing. I hope they utilize him at the fullback or the up back position.
Yeah.
I hope they put him in at slot receiver in some formations and do some things with some RPO. Maybe he gets a good block on somebody. The dude is an athlete, and he's 6'2", 6'3".
No, he's 6'5".
6'5". Okay, yeah, he's got the size, man. I mean, he gets his mitts on you. If he puts a block on you with his paws inside, it's over, But that,
that we definitely have to take advantage of now, especially with Kitts out. They need to put Ethan Davis out in space and take advantage of his athleticism. You pretty much got 4 wide receivers now on the field at all times because Ethan Davis is a unique weapon that you can match up against their linebackers and safeties and slot guys. So I want to see a lot of Ethan Davis. So with that being said, I know you got one last thing you want to add before we close it down?
Man, I could talk for another hour about the Florida heartbreaks that I've endured, man. We've all been there. We've all
been there 3 years.
Yeah.
I don't think they the 6 people watching want to listen to us moan and groan about.
No. No.
I mean, they're right there with us. They've all been there as far as feeling our pain as well.
Yeah.
I can tell you, like
But
Dan said earlier, he was at that 2007, 2015 game.
That had to have been horrible.
Yeah, that had to have been awful.
That had to have been awful, man.
But
it does bring up the point that I think I said this earlier at the beginning, the top of the show, and I got to come back to this because literally this has been the story of UT football since the championship that we won in 98. Yeah. Look, 98 was amazing. Look, I'll never, ever detract from 98. It was a meant-to-be series of events. Sterner fumbling, and we get that fumble, and then my boy Travis Henry being the drive that we had against Mississippi State last year with Dylan Sampson, just handing Travis Henry the ball, what was it, 6 plays in a row, and he scores, and we win the football game. Like, then blowing out Florida State. I mean, I know the score wasn't a blowout, but that was a blowout. That was an amazing thing, right? But we did not follow up and capitalize on it and solidify our presence as that elite thing. And this is a moment here where we have those times where we're not going to slip into the ridiculous low-level crap that we had been in. We had opportunities against Alabama, Georgia, and Oklahoma this year to take that next step. We have an opportunity in 3 days to not digress or not digress, regress. That's what I want to see. I want to see us hold our ground and swim in the water and maintain. Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm right there.
We can rise up out of it. Yeah.
I think you're spot on because it's like I said early in the show. This game is the biggest game in Coach Heupel's tenure, whether we like it as Tennessee fans or not. You lose this game, you're going downhill, and people are going to start stirring, and it's going to be a sad day on Rocky Top the next day because people are going to start like stuff is going to happen. There's no reason why you should not go down to Gainesville this Saturday and beat those Gators because it's inexcusable. You have a healthier roster. You have a talented roster. You have a head coach who's been there. They have instability. They have chaos going on. Everything sets up for you to go beat them Gators in the swamp. You need to go take care of business. If you don't, it's not going to be good for Tennessee. And with all these coaching changes going on, I'm really one that don't want a coaching change to happen because I think this is Tennessee's opportunity to take advantage of all those coaching changes and really go, become that next school that we can be. But you have to take advantage of these opportunities. You can't let Florida sneak one in this year. Go win this game. Go handle business. Go beat Vanderbilt. Go win your bowl game, finish the season 10-3, and have all the momentum in the world going into the offseason and into recruiting and into the portal, and go get ready for a great 2026 season. Guys, with that being said, I do want to just kind of throw it out there real quick. Go follow us at Rocky Top Talks 1 on Twitter. I post on there whenever we're going live. I post some other things about Tennessee football and Tennessee sports on there. Go follow us on Facebook at Rocky Top Sports Talk. I post on every time we go on there. Ben, I see prediction in the chat, 35-24 Tennessee. Sam says it's simple. Joey Aguilar this year, protect well and we score early, start giving up pressure. He makes mistakes, so I like that. Love the sound of 10-3. Yes, I love the sound of that too. For years, Tennessee was a 10-win or better team. If we could continue the tradition of 10 wins or more, that'd be 3 years or 4 years in a row now. No, 3 years because we were 9-4 and 23. But you go take advantage of those opportunities and win the games you're supposed to win, like this one. and then you can look forward to and take that momentum at the end of this year into next year, and we'll all be singing Rocky Top all season. So y'all always have a blessed night. Go Vols, go Big Orange, and we'll see y'all next time.
Woo.
Win Saturday in Gainesville.
Go Vols.
I'm on God time, what you want, huh? I'm on God time, what you want, huh? I'm on God time, what you want, huh? What you want, huh? I'm on God time, what you want, huh? What you want, huh? I'm on God time, what you want, huh? God time, we don't never